Does Birds of Prey have box office problems? That is a question we are going to be pondering on this week's NBA Heroes.
Yeah, Stephen, this one is coming in from Screenman. And as you did say, they are asking that question. Does the latest DC movie, obviously starring Harley Quinn and Black Canary, I think, and Huntress and whatnot, and Black Mask, does it have box office problems? Because when you look at the reported budget of $84.5 million, some sources putting it closer to $100 million, it's only grossed $33.25 million domestically in the States. And they're suggesting that that may be an issue because Warner Brothers were initially predicting $45 to $50 million of a start. Worldwide, it's took in just $81.2 million, so it's just about breaking even in terms of budgetary constraints. But when you take into account promotion, not just visual promotion but actual advertisements, physical out in the streets and whatnot, this movie may be struggling. It probably has to hit $150 million, minimum $200 to break even.
Yeah.
So it's struggling so far, but it's a quiet time of the year. There isn't many big blockbuster movies, so it may catch up. And they do go through some reasons as to why. They're suggesting that Birds of Prey's R rating may have limited, or is currently limiting, the audience which can go and purvey the movie, if you like. I don't agree with that because look at Joker.
I was going to say that.
Over $1 billion.
Yeah, I don't think that should come into consideration actually. It's early days. You know, we'll give the film that. This is a film I'm actually looking forward to seeing because, you know, the mess that was the Suicide Squad, the sort of shining light in that was this character, Harley Quinn, and Margot Robbie's performance in that film. So I would really want to see this film primarily for her, you know. But it's only been out here a few days. This is only US box office numbers we're talking here. You know, I think internationally, as they call it, we call it home. You know, I think it will do okay. I'm not saying it's going to set the heather alight or anything like that, but you're right, it's a very quiet time of the year. The Academy Awards has just been, and you've got to remember as well, you know, this comes off the sort of back of a very disappointing film in the Suicide Squad, which it just didn't do it for me, if I'm being brutally honest. The other thing as well is the marketing of this film in this country. It's been very few and far between. The odd trailer on YouTube. I've not seen anything on terrestrial TV, as we call it over here. Nothing at all. It's all, you know, on YouTube. Before you get into whatever entertainment channel you want to watch, this might pop up. I think the film looks okay. Some interesting characters in there, which we'll go into, you know, later on in the film, John.
Yeah.
But I think it's early days. You know, that's the bottom line. I think we'll see how it performs. I think it is very early days. What I'm not liking is this kind of knee-jerk reaction, backlash that a certain sect of people are getting the blame for this once again for another film not performing. I'm getting really fed up with it. Yeah,
it's white males essentially. I'll say it, Stephen. They're criticising a huge swathe of your primary demographic for not going out and backing a movie which isn't really focused towards them. The story is about a group of female characters going after a white misogynistic shit of a character essentially and battering them, I would imagine, as the movie transpires or whatever progresses.
Why not?
Then I think you've got Zash, what's his name? Zash? Can never say the guy's name. That serial killer who etches like numbers of people he's killed on his arms and body.
Okay.
So it's kind of females battering males, and if it's not handled correctly, then a large proportion of male audience members won't go out and watch it. Like you though, Stephen, that's slightly different from that because I enjoy Margot Robbie as an actress. I enjoy her portrayal as Harley Quinn very much. So much so that it almost saved a relatively poor movie in the Suicide Squad. Obviously you had other performances in there. Will Smith, Joel Kinnaman I think it is, who was in House of Cards. He played the sergeant or whatever, captain figure. So there was some elements to that movie which weren't that bad. You could argue that Jared Leto was a Joker. Underwhelming, but he still put his heart and soul into it and for what he had in the movie, it wasn't terrible.
And what was cut?
Exactly. Who knows what was cut? We'll never find out. Was it David Ayer that directed it? Says it was a huge performance cut from it. So look, with that being the case, there's always that degree of attraction to this movie because of the connection between Margot Robbie and Harley Quinn. You then see Ewan McGregor's in there playing a misogynist, almost like Kilgrave David Tennant played in Jessica Jones. It's almost like that, an annoying misogynist, a guy who's controlling, and he's so annoying you just want to see him meet an end, but some part of you wants to see him continue on in the shadows, kind of living in the character's heads.
I totally get where you're coming from.
So you get that in there, so that's another attraction for me.
I think you're right. You know, you made a good comparison there in the David Tennant character, Kilgrave.
Yeah.
I'm about to say Killmonger.
I was about to say that as well.
You know, and similar in other, films as well. You know, where you get the villain, the antagonist.
He's so bad he's good.
Kurt Russell in Death Proof is a classic example. As much as he was such a shit in that film, an evil person. You wanted to see what he was going to do next.
Yeah.
There's something inside you that wants to see that. But listen, he got his comeuppance in the end, and it was very satisfying. So
you're not very same in this, for sure. Harley
exactly,
Quinn and the rest
that's
of the
what I'm
ones
looking forward to. Kathy Yan.
She's a director,
yeah.
They do suggest that as another thing that may be hurting this movie. The fact there's a lack of stellar star power in the filmmaking side of things. That Margot Robbie, obviously being hot property, if you like, after the success with Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
DC being a little bit reactionary instead of, I don't know, thinking out a cohesive strategy prior to the movie's release. Decided, well, that's popped well, we like Harley Quinn, the audience like her, let's do a movie with her. She's also utilised that to maximum, I don't know what you'd say about that, I've given absolute nonsense here. But anyway, she utilised it, and she's brought in a director that she wants. And also it's this Kathy Yan.
Yeah.
And that's another thing they're saying may be a negative for this movie. Another thing they're suggesting, Stephen, as you did hint at, marketing being mixed. And I agree with what you said previously. This movie hasn't really had a strong marketing push.
Nope.
We've had trailer teasers. I think we had 2 little 20-second snippets of about 20 different characters. And then we get a trailer, and it wasn't that great, to be honest with you. I've not seen much push in terms of billboards and whatnot over here, so it's fully under the radar. And then part of that may be the fact that it has been released in February as well, which is another reason to say this movie may be underperforming. It ain't a great month for releasing movies. It's the sort of dump ground of movie release months, dates if you'd like. The only real ones that are shocked that have been the likes of Deadpool. But Deadpool's a phenomenon with Ryan Reynolds, and it's got an established fan base. This is coming off the heels of obviously the dumpster fire that was obviously Suicide Squad. So I don't know, man. I don't know what the reasons are behind this movie presumably underperforming. It could be a mixture of all. What's your thoughts? Is it February? Is it a mixture of filmmakers lacking star power? Could it be just
I think there's a mixture, John, but I think marketing's got a big part to play in it. Certainly in this country, the British Isles, we're a strange lot over here when it comes to film at times, it's just one of these things, but I don't buy the whole, it's a certain sect of society that are refusing to go out and see this film. People will go out and see films they want to see. It's as simple as that. If people don't want to go and see a film, don't blame it on their colour or their beliefs or anything like that. It might just not appeal to them. And that's where your marketing, your targeting has to come into it. You have to understand where your audience is coming from. We've seen it before. The Charlie's Angels thing's a classic example, where but more so the Charlie's Angels one, I think was just marketed all wrong in this country. I think right up to its release, I wasn't even sure who was in the film, and that's not my ignorance or not being taking an interest in it. Certainly isn't what we do in this YouTube channel. It isn't our interest, but it just wasn't marketed right, and then someone's got to point the finger, someone's got to take the blame.
It was Elizabeth Banks, the director. Stephen, you look at that cast now, I think it was Naomi Scott, Christian Stewart, they are good actors. So it's just a lack of good story, a lack of directing.
Originality as well, John.
I mean, she's not an action director, Elizabeth Banks, so it was a flop. and she was attacking a primary demographic as, again, suggesting it was white males. Tim Miller did it with Terminator Dark Fate. You'd think they'd learn their lessons. This isn't some conspiracy from white males.
No.
They go out and watch Wonder Woman and make that a real success. They go out and watch other movies. Look at The Little Woman. I mean, I know it's primarily female demographics, but there's got to have been some white males went out and watched that movie. So if the story's there and the star talent's there, they'll go out and watch it. It's not some big conspiracy. And I hope it turns out a success, because
I do as well, John.
I want to see DC continuing this good strategy, self-contained stories, not try to get back and do cinematic universes. Do what they're doing best just now. Hopefully it makes some money and they go off and do more. Maybe, I don't know, what was that other one, the female goddamn one? It wasn't Birds of Prey, it was the other one, the Sirens of Gotham City or something. Gotham City Sirens. Hopefully they'll do that. But look, Stephen, connecting into Birds of Prey, we've got another article from Screen Man. It's talking about a potentially interesting character in this movie. It's Huntress. They're going over what is different, if there is anything different between the comic version of this character and the Birds of Prey variant of the character. I didn't know much about it. I know she popped up in Arrow and it was a slightly more vindictive, darker version. Didn't like to play in a team. This one sounds interesting though. The character sounds very interesting. Bertinelli, I think it is.
Helena,
Whole family's wiped out with Black Mask. She goes off to Italy and is trained and raised with a mafia setting, and she comes back very much hardened, renewed, and want to kill. But she works well in a team, and apparently they have nailed this character with a Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I want to say. They get the action sequences right, they get the balance right. She's good at little comedic moments, and she plays off well with the rest of the Birds of Prey, or Birds I think they call them in this article. So I don't know what you think of this. I think it's a very intriguing character with potentially a very interesting future in more movies. Maybe a Sirens of Gotham City movie with maybe Harley Quinn again, depending on this movie being a success. I think it's great potential. She is a good actress. She get good connections with you.
Exactly, John. And this character interests me as well. Just like I was saying in the previous topic, this opens up the door for these characters to have a platform to, really show us layman's. I use this every week. Exactly. What there is to offer in these characters from DC. Huntress. There's been different variations of this character from this article, which interests me as well. The first Huntress was actually Helena Wayne, daughter of Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle. So, there's all these different variations. This one that they're describing, though, and her backstory interests me a lot. I like a good revenge character as well, in the sort of vein of Red Sparrow,
Black Widow and Red Sparrow.
Red Sparrow,
that was Jennifer Lawrence.
That kind of style, where they're taken away and they sort of reform their life, bit like Peppermint as well. And that's one of the things I like about this character. Totally different from Harley Quinn, but has the same kind of goal and drive towards seeking, well, you want to call it her justice, we call it revenge. But, and I think it's been perfectly cast as well. I think she's a fine actress. Seen her in quite a lot of films, and I think...
Couldn't Death Proof, you said.
All the way back 2007.
She was in it.
But I think, John, it's opening the doors for standalone films for these characters as well. I don't know if, until we see, obviously, the film Birds of Prey, will not know just how good a character she is. People out there who've seen this video now have probably seen the film, will have their own views. Certainly once I see Birds of Prey, I have a stronger view on this, but I'm liking what I hear.
Well, they say in this article, Stephen, that the film version is very accurate, portraying a strong, determined, vengeance-seeking vigilante, just as she's depicted in the comics. It's a more honourable depiction than the Arrowverse version, so certainly it looks like Mary has nailed it. Character's very intriguing. I like the Bruce Wayne daughter vibe, where she has got no issues killing, but she's got this sort of strained, distant relation with also the Waynes. That's intriguing. I just like the character as well. This concept of this vengeance seeking, getting away and rebuilding yourself, as you did say. It's almost like what we see with Oliver Queen in Arrow as well. He goes away, he has a shock to his system, comes back a different beast.
With that wig.
With that wig, yes. But I like that dual personality where they're hiding a secret, they're doing vigilanteism. It's very, very cool. You mentioned Peppermint, and Red Sparrow. I love those type of movies.
Yeah.
Other thing, she's married and getting out with Ewan McGregor, so he's playing the misogynistic villain and she's playing one of the heroic birds of prey, so that'd be interesting.
That's a
that
bit
dynamic between those two in the
domestic
movie.
therapy there,
Yeah, it's a bit like, what's her goddamn name, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. We better not mention that. I bet Amber was at the Oscars, incidentally, despite being a domestic abuse proponent. She
allegedly
slapping hell out of Johnny Depp. Oh, it was caught in audio, Stephen, she admitted it, so I wonder how those snowflakes will be reacting to that. They tried to demonise Johnny Depp, so I'll be looking for an apology on Twitter. Well, Johnny should be. What a digress. I'll move on in that note, Stephen. I'll not go down that rabbit hole.
no.
Oh, the hypocrisy just rips out of these people. Joaquin Phoenix, Stephen, responds to Best Actor Oscar with impassioned speech. We briefly touched upon this in our Oscar breakdown, but this is a chance to speak about this great performance again from Joaquin. And just a real great speech. Veganism, if I can say it, aside, honouring his late great, obviously, brother, sadly passed away, River Phoenix, with a fantastic quote, which was one of his. I believe it was a lyric written by him. Run to the rescue with love and peaceful fall. He just seems like a really wise guy. He's been through some dark times, and he's come out the side very much rejuvenated, a better figure, and what an actor, man. We've been speaking about him time and again. What a performance. And I'm glad to see he's won that.
I think as
Oscar.
well, John, that he quoted his brother's prediction as well, that he would go on to become the more well-known Phoenix brother, which I don't know about that. I think River Phoenix is,
it's good 30 years now he's been away and people still know him.
Well, this is the thing, John, and his performances, in his early, career still stands the test of time. So, but Joaquin Phoenix, he's a very level-headed chap, and I'm pretty sure that the whole Phoenix family are the same as well. They're very earthly people. Certainly when you're coming away with quotes like "we feel entitled to steal a cow's baby," and a acceptance speech, what type of guy he is. I said the other day, I can
understand what you're saying.
I'm not disagreeing with anything he's saying, John, in any fashion. I just think these actors have got a platform to express their views. I just sometimes think that their views are misplaced by timing, not from what they're trying to get across. And it seems to be the common thing now, in regards to, whatever their beliefs may be. In this case, you kind of expect that it's part and parcel of award ceremonies now. Is it annoying at times? Possibly, because that's not what we're watching, that's not what we're here for. But I like him. He comes across as a decent guy. And just, I know we're going to talk about him more than his actual performance, because we did that the other day, yesterday on the awards show. But I think it was an emotional speech, and taking away obviously the things he spoke about. I think he's just a very passionate, down to earth guy, very humble as well.
And Stephen, look, he seems to be gaining more confidence as the months go on. When he started this award season, and he was picking up award after award, he was quite shy and within his shell. He seems like quite a socially awkward chap at times. So I mean, if you're standing in a room in front of 200, 300, 400 people, having to speak, that is nerve shredding for most people, I would have thought, unless you're a natural performer. But he seems to have been really confident last night. He seems like a different beast. He's comfortable in his own skin now. But I don't know if that's even true. He may have been comfortable in his own skin prior to this award season. I may be barking up the wrong tree, but he was impassioned and speaking with great confidence, not at all like what we've seen with the Golden Globes and the BAFTAs, where he's self-deprecating in the way that he's speaking. I don't belong here, I don't deserve to be in the company of these nominees and whatnot, which is nonsense, because the performance was sublime. It was the best performance of the year. Such an interesting character, so multifaceted, different takes on it. And he's brought his own unique touch, and it sits right up there with the likes of Nicholson and Leisure for Me, what he did with that nervous laugh and whatnot. Just mesmerising. But look, we're talking about Joker, we'll move on to the final topic, which is interconnecting with Joker. I never even thought about this, but now when you look back, it's true. For lack of a better
I don't
word.
think it's obvious, but it's we all knew the facts, piecing them all together. is another thing, John. Yeah, you're right. This is about 4 DC movies have won Oscars. The Joker is in all of them.
There's the hint. The Joker is the best character to introduce into a DC movie, clearly.
Yeah.
The most interesting. Stephen, it says that he's mesmerising. There's people get tattoos of this character. This guy's like, who was it speaking about it? God, was it Lakeith Stanfield on Jimmy Fallon or Kimmel?
Yeah.
Says that he's obsessed with it. He's been writing his own sort of script. He wants to portray the character. Another great actor. Maybe we will see that at some point in the future. It just has that effect, the character, and it just seems to be that when they utilise this character in a story, even if it's a small role and the movie's shit, like Suicide Squad, something seems to click. And I think it was for makeup and costume design, I think, in Suicide Squad, if I'm right, I don't know if I am.
Yeah.
It won the Oscar for. And that was also Jared Leto in '89, I think it was for...
Well, for Joker it was Best Original Score.
Best Original Score, yeah.
And Best Actor, John. You're right, 1989's Tim Burton's Batman, it was the Best Art Direction. Yeah. Obviously Jack Nicholson playing the...
Who could argue with that?
The
Jack
clown, obviously Heath Ledger as well. For Dark Knight, Chris Nolan's Dark Knight, Best Sound Editing and Best Supporting Actor. And as you said, David Ayer's Suicide Squad was Best Makeup and Hairstyling. Obviously Jared Leto playing the clown in that as well. So
I was thinking about goddamn Suicide Squad and he said supporting actor Dark Knight.
Yeah. So I mean, it's one of these things. It seems so obvious, you know, but it's something that never crossed my mind. I've got to be honest with you, John. But just going back to the character, you know, you remember when it was first announced that this film was going to be made by Todd Phillips, and a lot of people on social media said this will not work without Batman. How wrong were they?
Yeah, they were. Stephen, look, a lot of naysayers says you can't do a villainous DC movie, it won't work. Same was said about Venom. Nowhere near as good or emotionally impacting as Joker, but still a great little action movie that performed above standard, so much so we're seeing a Venom 2 with Andy Serkis on board and a continuation of this Sony villain verse. It's the same with this. DC have got some of the best antagonistic characters in the comics, like of Lex Luthor and also Joker. I'm trying to think of other ones off the top of my head now and I'm struggling, so maybe they aren't that good. No, but they have. They've got some of the great villains in the comic books, and
you can rhyme off quite a few from Batman if you want to save yourself, John. Penguin, of course, Penguin, and then obviously Riddler and Mr. Freeze is not that great, but he's visually tantalising if nothing else. So, Bane is another one, so they've got a real rich mind to mine from, if you like, gold mine to mine from. Terrible turn of phrase, but yes. So I'm not surprised this movie's been a success. I'm not surprised Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix have made a success of it, because it's such a rich character with such a rich history and so many people thoroughly enjoy and are mesmerised by it. Yeah.
Look, I loved it. I loved Joaquin Phoenix, I loved Heath Ledger, I loved Jack Nicholson's version. I didn't like Jared Leto's version all that much. What was the other one? Romero? Never seen that.
Cesar Romero.
So there's been so many takes on this character.
Mark
Hamill, obviously, yes, he was one of his standout. I said it last week, I think. 2 real standout performances from that man in his career, Luke Skywalker and the Joker.
Yeah.
So there's something about the character, when you introduce it into a real good story and it's done in a way that's organic, then it usually reaps its rewards. And you see here with this article, 4 times he's been in, well, he's probably been in more than that, but 4 DC Oscar successes have featured the Joker. So I don't know if you get much more to ask, Stephen.
No.
Well, I will not dig myself into any more holes with terrible turns of phrase. I did say it before, I'm like the MBE Ringo Starr, 8 days a week, a hard day's night. I'll move on. What was your thoughts on these topics we spoke about? Is Birds of Prey a box office flop? Will it be a flop? Will it pick itself out of a hole like I should? What's your thoughts on Huntress and her portrayal in Birds of Prey, if you've seen it? What's your thoughts on Joaquin Phoenix's Oscar speech and the Joker being a real mainstay and Oscar success for DC? If you have anything to say, I thought we can comment below. Let us know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, and you can subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. And if you do, then you'll see me probably on my Todd again tomorrow for MBE Movie News.